So here is the first one. White starts the game with e4, black plays e5, white attacks the e5 pawn, black defends with knight c6, and here white plays c3, the Ponziani opening, preparing to play d4 in his next move, and here black plays knight to f6, and now white plays d4, attacking the center. While here black could play e into d4, but white in this case might end up playing e5, kicking black's knight over here. So that is why instead of capturing this pawn, black decided to capture the undefended e4 pawn over here. So black plays knight into e4, and here white plays d5, kicking the c6 knight, knight goes to e7, and now white captures on e5 with his knight, and here black decides to play knight g6. The idea is, since the knight was sitting here and was blocking the queen's and the bishop's path, he wanted to get out of their way. So black plays knight to g6, and now white plays bishop d3, attacking this e4 knight over here. So here it looks like that white is ready to exchange knights. So if black takes this knight, then white will take this knight over here, and both of them would be equal in material. But black now thinks, since anyway this knight is gonna go off the board, why don't I play an in-between move, and that is knight into f2, forking white's pieces over here. But here white, instead of capturing this knight over here, plays a very surprising move, and that is bishop into g6. Black gets extremely shocked here. Why white is sacrificing his queen over here? Well, he thinks for a while but doesn't understand white's reason for sacrificing the queen, and that is why he takes on d1. So knight into d1, but capturing the queen over here was a big blunder, because white will now start a mating attack against black's king. How? Well, the first move is bishop into f7 check, king moves to e7, the only square. Now white brings his other bishop, bishop g5 check, king has only one place to go, so king moves to d6. Now white checks the king with his knight, so knight c4 check, the only square that king can go to is c5. And now here, instead of getting greedy and capturing this black queen over here, white decides to finish off black's game by playing knight b to a3. Since black king is so out in the open, this knight move took away even this square from the king and also gave protection to this knight. And here black is completely lost and tries to somehow save his game by capturing this free bishop over here and saving his queen. So he plays queen into g5, but that move finishes off black's game in just one move, and that is b4 checkmate. Let's look at the second game. White starts the game with e4, black plays e5, white attacks the e5 pawn, black defends with knight c6. Now here white plays bishop c4, and this is the Italian game, and here black plays knight to f6, attacking this e4 pawn over here. And now here, instead of playing the standard d3 or knight c3 move, which could have protected this pawn over here, white plays a very interesting move, and that is knight to g5, attacking this weak f7 pawn over here along with his bishop. Black now plays d5 to block this attack, and here white takes the pawn with his pawn, attacking this knight over here, and now the knight moves to d4. And now here, since white wants to revive his attack on the f7 pawn, therefore he decides to play d6. And here, instead of focusing on protecting this pawn, black just decides to ignore this pawn completely and plays queen into d6, allowing white to fork black's pieces. And now white plays knight into f7, and now black moves his queen to c6, forking white's g2 pawn as well as this bishop over here. Now ideally the best move for white here would have been kingside castling, but white gets greedy and decides to capture the rook on the h8 square. So he plays knight into h8, black captures the pawn on g2 with an attack on this rook. Rook moves to f1, queen comes to e4 and gives check to the king. Notice how this square is covered by black's queen as well as black's knight. So getting white's queen here to block the check would actually end up losing material for white. So that is why, without any giving a second thought, white plays bishop e2, blocking this check. But that move was a horrible blunder, because black then finished this game with knight f3, a beautiful smothered checkmate.